All right, so we're going to be working with a ruler and drawing a grid. If you have a ruler like mine, you've got inches on one side and centimeters on the other. You may have inches on both sides. I want the inches side. We are working only in inches. All right, now we want to create perfect squares. And we want to create perfect squares, so we're going to have to do some setup to get started. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our ruler and we're going to put it all the way at one corner of our page. Doesn't matter which corner you pick, but in this case, if you have like a spiral-bound book like I do, I wouldn't use this side. I would use one of the machine-sized corners. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to mark off 1 inch. Okay? I'm going to mark off 1 inch. Now, on that same side, whatever side you started on, I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to move my ruler up just a little bit higher. It doesn't matter how much higher, but along that same edge. And I'm going to mark off another inch. Okay? And then what I'm going to do, I have 2 1-inch marks. I'm then going to connect the dots. So I'm going to take my ruler, I'm going to line it up to the 2 marks that I just made, and I'm going to make a dark line right there, okay? So what I've done is I've picked one edge of my paper, and I've created a 1-inch sort of border on it. I'm going to do that again for you. I'll pick a different side over here. I'm going to take the other corner, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark off another inch. I'm going to move my ruler, again, anywhere else along this edge, just a little bit further away from that, a few inches. I'm going to mark off another inch. Okay? I've got 2 marks here, 1 inch away from the edge. I'm going to use my ruler now to line up those 2 dots that I made, and I'm going to make another dark little line. I missed a little bit over there, but, you know, I'm not perfect. You're not going to be perfect. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off on one corner of the page by making a little extra margin. This is all just scrap area, okay? This little 1-inch border. This area right here is going to be the area we're working with. You guys can stop for 1 second and just look up, and I'll do the next part, okay? This next part, all right, we are going to take one of these lines and we are going to line our ruler up to it. We're going to make sure that we have a 6-inch line. Okay? It goes 6 inch. All right. I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to line up my ruler and make sure over here that I have at least a 6-inch line. I'm going to measure that it's exactly 6 inches. Okay? So what I have right now is I have this right angle. I have this line is 6 inches. This line is 6 inches. Okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my ruler down here on the bottom, and you can see where I'm starting. I'm starting right at the bottom corner over here. My ruler at 0 is right there. I'm going to measure off 3 inches. I'm going to mark that off very lightly. So this one was 1 inch. These 2 little dots is for inches, so that'll be 1 and 2 little inches. This distance here is 3 inches. Okay, so right there, as you can see on mine, that is 3 inches, 6 inches. I'm going to take my ruler, I'm going to move it up on the page anywhere I want, but I want to make sure that 0 is right on the line over here, and I'm going to mark off again 3. And I'm going to mark off 6. Okay? Now I should have 2 lines over here that are 6 inches from the end. I'll just double check my measurements. And then I'm going to connect them. Okay. I'm going to have 2 lines here that are 3 inches apart. I'm going to connect them as well. I'm going to try to keep this line pretty light. I don't want to make this line too dark. I'm going to make sure my lines are at least 6 inches long. Okay, but they're 3. This space is 3 inches. This space is 3 inches. I'm going to turn my paper. And again, I'm going to start my ruler down in this corner again, our first corner. I'm going to measure 3 and 6. I'll go to the middle over here. It doesn't have to necessarily be exactly in the middle, but I need to start my ruler on that edge. And I'll go 3, and I'll go 6. And then again, I'm going to connect the dots. The line in the middle should be pretty light. You can make the lines on the other side a little bit darker. So what we should have, if you did this correctly, you should have 4 boxes. Each of it is 3 inches each way. And it should be a big 6-inch square on your paper. Didn't matter what end you put it on the paper, but I want you to give yourself a nice 1-inch margin all the way around. That was drawing the grid, a 3-inch grid with Mr. B. I'm going to post that